And we are live. Hello and welcome. Oh my goodness, we're so lucky today. We've got Karambles on the show, who's built our microservice AI bot, which is absolutely great. It's one of the first experiments. I'll call it an experiment because it's all being developed as we go. But using Victel VCTT's new bot toolkit and what's happening over on Bison Relay with this new toolkit is incredible. And I'm really, really excited to get into that. But before we go any further, Crabbles, how are you?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. I'm good.
Absolutely.
And you guys?
Absolute pleasure. Yeah, how you doing, Exitus?
Very good. Happy to talk some Decred today.
Yeah,
Woo!
absolutely. I mean,
Let's go.
we've been private chatting, myself and Crambles and Exitus, obviously, for many, many years. So to actually have you on the show to talk about your work is amazing, actually. And because this is the first time on your show, I wonder if you'll give us a little bit of an overview about how you got into Decred and some of the things that you've been working on.
Well, I learned about crypto pretty early, but I was hustling in life. I was studying. I was low budget, couldn't cover the bills. So I was actually not able to accumulate very early. So I went on with my life, doing regular jobbing and the regular lifestyle. When one day I read a posting on Facebook about an announcement posting. I think it was an article on Hacker News where the Decred white paper was published. So I read that white paper and I thought maybe, these people are having a Bitcoin developer background and they have a pretty nice approach to innovate on the protocol. And they inviting people to just join and then receive an airdrop. So I looked into I think at that time it was still on IRC. The people were meeting on IRC chatting. So I just joined and here we are,
Yeah. So I mean, you are literally one of the first people in the project then. So if you got the airdrop, I mean, I joined. Oh, what was it? 2020, I think it was the earliest I got into Decred, but I absolutely loved what they were doing with the governance. I loved the direction. I loved the fact that they maintained the 21 million, but they also had a way of upgrading that was so organic. I felt that it was software related upgrades where the stakeholders, the people hold the coin, actually get involved and do it. I just thought it was brilliant.
An amazing experience because there was I don't know, a couple thousand blocks before actually the voting started, and the forums were running wild at that time, and it was a very funny experience to me. So it was I enjoyed it a lot, and I saw the project grow. There were different wallets available. We had something called Prometheus at that time also, and before we started with Decrediton, and I enjoyed the whole progress, right? Because from the get-go, it was not actually what was written in the white paper. It was still in progress under development, and it was really a very nice experience for me to see how these people just kept on building and adding new features and new possibilities. So I was getting into the command line with these nodes, and awesome experience from the get-go.
I should say that a lot of the command line stuff that I've been doing with on my tutorials was thanks to Crumbles. Actually, he walked me through a whole bunch of stuff. Literally every time I've got a question, I'm like, "How did you do this, man?" And Crumbles like, "Yeah, yeah, it's brilliant."
It's awesome, right? You should all use the command line if you can, because the possibilities are endless, and it always gives you a fundamental understanding of what is really going on here, right? Instead of just pushing buttons, and it's different.
But I tell you what's really nice is having someone like yourself in the background to help out people like myself. I'm technical, but I'm not your level of technical, that's for sure. And to have someone there just to patiently walk through is brilliant. And I mean, I've been talking to Crumbles about the Lightning Network for many years now. You were talking about badges back in the day, like a few years ago, and how this stuff was going to develop. And it's really nice to see that all of those visions that you were having, even before, when we were talking initially, and I think that must have been about 2021, 2022, and you were talking about, oh, you can do this on the Lightning Network. I'm like, nah, man, I've had horrible experiences with the Lightning Network. And then all of a sudden, Bison Relay come along, and it was just like, oh my God, you can do this with it, And some of the things that you've been chucking around, it's absolutely incredible. Exus, anything to add to that?
No, it's really exciting to have someone come on who's been around since the beginning. It's always interesting to hear their perspective on how Decred has evolved over the past 9 years. Especially someone like Caramble, who like you just said is knows how to use the command line and really knows how to tap into the blockchain. And obviously you've gone and built this AI bot, which is a really cool, at the very least, it's a cool tech demo. I'm sure it can be refined, but it works really well. And I was surprised just how easy it was to get connected and start talking with AI and doing things right in Bison Relay. I'm curious though, how difficult is it to run a private bot? From what I understand, if you run it privately, you don't actually have to tip money to Bison Relay and use your own funds.
Yeah, it's actually quite easy, right? I mean, the foundations with Bison Relay and with the Bison bot kit from Victor are amazing. You can really easy work with that and develop your own bot. I have many ideas. Maybe we talk about some later. But if you run the bot, specifically the one I just built, if you want to run it privately, you can just you just have to run your Bison Relay client. You have to just uncomment like 4 or 5 lines in the configuration file that's already on your computer, right? So you change, you actually activate the RPC interface for your Bison Relay client. And after that, it's just a double click on the bot. It's a double click, the bot runs simultaneously side by side. You have your Bison Relay client running, and you start the bot. The bot connects to the Bison Relay. The first time you start the bot, it asks you for your file AI API key. So you need that because the provider who's hosting for you the artificial intelligence models, which render all the images, this is a service provider. You have to pay them. So you have at least to put some money through your credit card to have a balance on that provider. But once you got that and you got your API key from this provider, it's just a double click and this thing works.
Yeah, one thing I liked about your model with the tipping is that none of that credit card was needed. And if you're buying, from the provider, you're able to kind of share the weight of the funds that you're actually as the provider are paying. And the people that are kind of I want to say the word leeching off of you, actually they pay you, but they don't have to give up any of their privacy. They don't have to give up any of their credit card details, which are, in terms of the microservice that offers, it's absolutely huge. I love it.
Yeah, it makes it cost efficient, right? Usually people are not able to run these models on a home computer, right? Of course, not like 10 different ones at the same time. So these graphics cards that are running these AI models, they cost between, I don't know, $10,000 to $40,000 one card, right? And with this solution we got here, you have access to a whole stack of graphics cards, and it renders it in seconds, and it just costs like 2 cents to render an image, right? So it's actually a great solution, but I think it lays out the groundwork for future compatibility for having like I don't know, when we talk about Bison Relay, we talk also about, it's not just a messenger, it's a real internet protocol, right? So we, with the Bison bot kit that Victor did, and Miki Totofu opened up communication channels, stream channels for the private messages and for the tipping. With these technical foundations, we actually can start now with the Bison bot kit to have something like a protocol layer where we can plug in our own ideas what the protocol should do.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go any further, I'm going to say, because obviously the community are watching in, but Crumbles has got a proposal up. So I'll just bring this up, and I wonder if you want to just talk about, obviously, the bulk of the work here is what's already been done. So we'll demo the AI bot in just a moment. But obviously, with this new proposal, then what's the aim going forward?
Well, I think this proposal just covers the compensation for the work being done, to just throw in the ball. Where should this go? Actually, we have a lot of models available on FAL AI. So the actual FAL AI package, that's also linked in the description of the proposal, that is not covering a lot of models at all. So I think with time I can add more models. It's my own interest. I like to use it. So I will add something like voice cloning maybe, right? And other models that come in handy from time to time. So I think more models, maybe switching over to different solutions. So currently this is just AI for diffusion models, which render images, videos, and speech. But there's a lot of more AI solutions around, like large language models. There's no large language model right now included into the bot. There's vision models that actually understand pictures and can analyze them and summarize them for you, whatever. So there's quite a lot of room for expansion, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just wanted to say about the proposal. Obviously, that's going to go live probably in the next few days, hopefully, and we'll get voting on that. But I mean, I just love the fact that you've done this and you've done the work, then you put the proposal up, and obviously then we can push it forward, which is absolutely great. So I just want to make people aware, or the community aware, that this proposal is there, and if you want to put a comment on it and if you want to kind of add your feedback, that'd be absolutely great. And you should definitely try out the AI bot, because it's absolutely great. And the only one I've tried at the moment is the text to image. And honestly, I was surprised at how quick it was. You pay your 2-cent tip, and it just literally goes through, and you can edit it, and it's really nice. And I mean, I will get more into depth with it. I'm not very good at the AI stuff at the minute, but hopefully after today I'm going to be an absolute pro. Did you want to show the community the demo
Yeah,
now?
I'm ready. If you want, we can switch over.
Right. Let's do that now. Oops.
So once again, about the proposal, right? It's just a sentiment test. People like it, people don't like it, what's happening there. I think it's a good approach the first approach to make the demonstration of Bison bot kit and what it's capable of. I mean, there will be coming up more. We got the Pong game, and Victor is already working on the poker solution. But I'm not a huge fan of gambling, so maybe we should spread it out a little bit and see what's possible, right? But yeah, maybe we start with the demonstration.
All right, let's bring you up then. Here we go.
Very nice, thanks.
Decred, decentralized credits.
So just let's jump right into it. This is my Bison Relay. And I got not really much people in my contact list, as you can see. So Bison Relay is actually a full-blown Decred wallet. including a Lightning Network wallet. So I got my channels open. I control that I got inbound and outbound channels. Then I go to my contact list, and I got 2 different bots here, right? And you were asking me about how difficult it is to run a private bot. You can see here the AI bot number 2. That's actually a private one that I be running for development. And then we got the second one here. That's the AI bot. That's actually public available. As soon you join the Bison Relay chat room, you will key exchange and introduce yourself to the AI bot. And once you got it, you in your contact list, you can actually directly access it. So let's start maybe with the first comment. All the comments start with an exclamation mark, right? It's exclamation mark, yes. And let's start with the first comment, which is the help comment. And the help comment just gives you an overview of the actual commands that are available for you. There are 3 different sections. So we got the basic commands with the help, balance, and rate. So these are actually self-explaining comments. You can ask how much balance you got with the bot, and you can query the current Decred exchange rate with the rate command. Nonetheless, maybe we give it a try. I try the rate command. Let's check here my input. I hope you see my Bison Relay. If not,
Yeah,
please let me know,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
All
We can
right.
see it fine. It's looking great. Looking great,
Okay.
Campbell.
All right. So I issued the rate command right here, and I got the current Decred exchange rate. It's not. Today I just saw the output, at least on this command, is it got a rounding error. It has no float points. I need to add that. But yeah, we are close to $14 at least. But the other stuff is accurate right now. This is the current BTC exchange rate and the DCR to BTC exchange rate. Okay. But let's just jump right into the AI commands. So we got a few ones of them, which are these ones right here. And you got the text to image command, you got the image to image command, image to video, text to video, and text to speech. All of these, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commands you got. And all of these commands have actually a couple of models for you that you can decide to use. So when we want to list all available models for the text to image command, we just write list models text to image. It will list all the available models for the text to image command. So here we are, we have different models available. All of these models have different prices per generation. So each image for the High Dream I1 Fast would cost 3 cents. And then we got more the exclusive ones with higher resolution outputs or more, they are just more expensive. They are more resource intensive and they are more costly. So you have these different models available for you. I would suggest people, because the default model when you first time launch the bot is the fast SDXL model, which is quite crappy. It's cheap, but it's crappy. So you should actually switch the model to the Flux Schnell. It's a German AI lab. I love them. They do really good work. It's open source. We should support them. So let's switch to the Flux Schnell model, right? For this, we use the set model command, set model text to image, and then we just write the name of the model, which is Flux Schnell. Now we're switching to the Flux Schnell model. Here we got the confirmation. we are switched to FluxSnell. And even if we just write the text-to-image command with nothing more, we get an help output for this specific FluxSnell model, right? Because each of these models also takes a huge set of different parameters. So each model is individual. And so you should always try to read the help output to understand what are you actually capable to do with that specific model. For example, you can just disable the safety checker, which gives you the opportunity to generate nudes. But we leave it on right now. We just simply use it, right? So we go ahead and write text to image, and then we give it a prompt, which is a happy guy running into a train station, smiling and dancing. This is the first command we use to generate an image. It's a text-to-image command followed by a text prompt. Then we see here this generation costs 2 cents, and we have a good balance with the bot. So it starts the current image generation job. And here we go. That's our guy. It is pretty fast. And now we got an image from the FluxSnell model. Let's see once again the help command. We got more commands available. We have an image-to-image command. Image-to-image command is actually not expecting you to give it a text prompt. It's expecting you to give an input image, and it will manipulate the image you give it in a specific way. So let's take a look at the image-to-image command. Or let's list models for the image-to-image command. We got different models available for image-to-image. One of these models is the star vector. It's not interesting for everybody, but it's quite nice because it converts usual bitmap images into SVG vector files, which comes in quite handy if you create logos and other stuff. This is really a nice model to do it. But we also got the Cartoonify model. So let's switch to that. Set model, image-to-image, Cartoonify. So we switched over to that. And I got one picture right here, which is this one. I took it from the internet. It's a happy family on the yard, right? Laying on the grass and having fun. So I want actually to cartoonify this image. So what I do is once again image-to-image to check how the command actually needs to be written down. So this is image-to-image and then image URL. So what we have here is actually some limitations on my side. So if you want to use the image-to-image model, you always need an URL for the input image. But I already uploaded it. Let me check 1 second.
Why Crumbles finds that? I mean, I'm loving all the help commands. It's so detailed, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I tried to catch the event. When you give a wrong command, you always get a help, right?
Yeah. I haven't tried the Cartoonify yet. I'm really looking forward to how this turns out. And I saw you've got the Gimlify one there as well.
Yeah, I'm curious how the Giblify works, because that's like immensely popular.
Okay,
And usually,
no problem. Let's check out, because now I got the URL, right? I copied the image we saw just here. I copied it on one of my servers. So
very wholesome image.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Decred's a family brand.
It's neutral, right? So let's go with that picture to cartoonify it. And once we are done, we do the set model, image to image, and then what is it? Giblify. But we wait until the progress is finished. This one takes a minute before it gives an output. They are quite fast, but it takes a second.
I'm curious with the Giblify, is there any like censorship built into these image processing? Okay, that was quite fast, because I know with ChatGPT and other models, it's like super censored, where like a lot of the commands is just like, nope, can't do it.
It depends on the model, right? You saw the Flux Schnell model. It specifically says you can disable the safety checker, right? So, I mean, you need to come to your own conclusions. We are on a live stream, but maybe you check it out for yourself.
I was quite glad that you've disabled it by default. I could imagine we're on the live stream and we get some news coming up. So, oh my god, it's a family show, man. that is really cool. I really like that that image generator.
I switched to the Giblify, and we do the job with the same picture once again.
Just while we wait for it to process, guys, in the comments, if you want to see Crumbles demo anything, chuck it in the comments, and we'll make that happen, because I don't know if you're finding this as fascinating as I am, but this is absolutely great to watch. And Eduardo is in the comments saying this is awesome. Decred is far ahead of everything else. And Jose said good morning all. But yeah, good morning. It really is. It's this is happening over the Lightning Network with a bit of magic behind the scenes as well. It's absolutely incredible.
The Giblify is really high quality. I like that. I added that model because I saw the results and I thought, yeah, we need that, right? So I just added.
It got all four of the people this time.
I mean, it's nice, really. When you compare it to the original picture, it comes close. So when you want to troll a friend, and he's sending you a photo on the messengers, you just convert it, and send it back in a minute. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun to use it.
Yeah, and guys, this is already live on Bison Relay. You just have to join the Bison Relay group chat, and you will be automatically connected with this bot, and you can go ahead and use it. And I think it's really great that you went ahead and did all the work for this before the proposal, so everyone knows exactly what they're getting with this. And I'm curious, do you plan on continuing working on this and maybe refining it, or is it going to be just this for now? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm currently working on something else, but hopefully I will be soon finished. But you can expect me to upgrade this bot because I use it myself. I am monitoring constantly what's happening in the AI world, and as soon there's some groundbreaking stuff, at least in the diffusion models area, which generates images and speech and video, I will add that stuff, right? But I always hope it becomes cheaper, right? And when stuff is too expensive, it's not really interesting. So when I see a good model and it is available, I will add it. So I will continue definitely on working on the FAL AI package, because it's a standalone Golang client for the FAL API. You can use that package in any Go program you write, actually, to access this image generation stuff. All that stuff that is currently in the bot is quite modular. So even the commands I use, you can just implement your own bot and just implement my command package, and you're already good to go to you have all the functions I make available included in your bot pretty fast with that concept. So yeah, I keep on working on that, but currently I need a break from it. I saw enough. I need a break for 1 or 2 weeks and finish something else I'm working on, and then I will continue at least adding models, and then I will mindstorm a little bit on which AI genre I would add next, right? So it's a big questions. Maybe people give me some input. I want to also would like to have vision language models. So that's actually my idea for the next steps. I'm not quite sure about the large language models because everybody got it, everybody uses it. You can download an app, it's free. So it doesn't make really sense to add a Chat GPT or Grok or I don't know, Google Gemini, whatever, because that's easily available for everyone for free. But the vision language models and the diffusion models are not easy accessible for people. So it makes sense to keep on adding those.
And just to clarify, these your messages with this AI and all your prompts and images are all private, right?
Well, private, not really. Private, they would be if you run the AI model also on your own hardware. So as soon we use a data center where all these graphics cards are stored, people could run around in the data center and just grab those files. So private, they are securely transferred and nobody knows who generated these images when you do it through the Bison Relay. So you are actually private, but the pictures can be seen by people you wouldn't expect in the first place.
Yeah, so you using Bison Relay, you've basically got this pseudo-anonymous kind of aspect going on, which I think
you are
quite
protected to the full encrypted protocol layer of Bison Relay. Nobody knows who generated images, but as I said, maybe I just show it to you so there's no secrets.
Let me bring it up full again.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I switch over to my browser. Let me know if you can see my browser.
Yep, see your browser.
Nice. So I go to File AI, which is actually the provider we use to generate these images. And they provide data center infrastructure specialized on AI models. So it's quite hard to run this stuff. This is resource intensive stuff, right? You need expensive hardware. You need a lot of storage space. You cannot run them all at once. So you need to boot them up, use them, shut them down, and whatever. It's quite complicated. But with this provider, you have actually access to a lot of different models. And this is what we actually use. Yeah. So I wrote a package for implementing the File AI API, and that's what we use.
Yeah, so you get basically in all these models, you don't have to kind of sign up to their payment deal. So on their payment page, it's like it's like £1 a second or whatever.
That's actually what I'm doing, but I just showcased what's possible. I hope the people use it on their own, right? So I don't actually have to run that service. But yeah, I run it. Let's see how it goes. I mean, but the bot is actually done for people to have it in your pocket. Then you run your mobile wallet Bison Relay client. And then you got your AI bot and it's accessible. It's only yours. You don't have to pay for the generation. So it makes things easier. Maybe I should demonstrate one more thing.
Yeah, I'll bring it up again.
Yeah. So actually I talked about those images have costs. So when you type the balance command, you can see how much balance you actually have with the bot. So I have currently almost 2 DCR, which is $26. I have balance with this bot. And if you want to add balance to your bot, you just need to send that bot an tip, which is done with the right mouse button on the name. When you are in the address list, your contacts list, right mouse button, and then you do the pay tip function, pay tip, and you just send it, I don't know, maybe 0.1 DCR. You pay the tip, it receives the tip, and thank you, you sent me 0.1 DCR. Then you go back to the balance and check. It needs to be over 2 DCR. Here you go, there you go. So if you need to up your balance, you just send the bot a tip. That's how you can add funds to the bot.
I don't know if it's possible just to move your face down on the screen a little bit, just so you can show them where the tip is again.
Yeah, let's do it again.
There you go. Another point that I wanted to make to people as well is obviously that's a non-refundable tip. So I'll only put in what you need.
Yeah, that's actually stupid, right? I need maybe somebody writes a GitHub issue, so I feel pressure to add the withdrawal function. But otherwise, just put 5 cents on it and render 2 images, and yeah, there's 1 cent left, right? So I will add a withdrawal function. I didn't think about it yet, but you're right.
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't really. It doesn't really matter. I think it would just, if people start putting like £5 in or something like that and then don't use it, they're going to be like, But at the moment, this is a non-refundable thing, so you just put in what you need to get started.
No, it's correct.
And
maybe
tipping,
be able to restore. Otherwise, if anyone got a problem right now, just write me a message, and we will fix the problem.
And another point to make is the tipping is instant and it's cheap anyway. So there's no real need to put too much in. When I did it, I just put in, I think I put 10 cents in, right. 0.01. And as I needed to top that up, I kept topping up, and it literally takes like 2 seconds. So it's, not a big issue.
I again send a tip. So I just right click on the user AI bot in my contacts list, click pay tip, and I just send it 0.1 once again to drain the inbound channel of the bot. Let's go. It receives the tip. Thanks. It received the tip. I once again go to the balance, and I should have 2.1 DCR now. There you go.
I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? I love how quickly it is. I love all the little prompts that just tell you what's going on and stuff. I think that's amazing. We got 233 people watching today at the moment. Obviously, that's going to keep going up. If you guys have got any questions for Crumbles, if you've got any questions about the Bison bot toolkit or Bison Relay in general, put them in the chat, and we can do that. Before we do anything else, I should probably show you where all this is coming from. So the actual, let me just bring up another screen here. So Victor VCTT has actually built, he's built a new blog, and you can see the site's just here. And as you scroll down, he's actually provided this Bison bot toolkit, so anybody can build these kind of third-party services or microservices to actually interact with Bison Relay and build additional services, which I think is absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see what other people do. I know a few months back, well, actually, it's probably almost 2 years ago now, there was one guy in the chat that came by and was saying about getting gift card providers onto Bison Relay. I don't know how far he got, but I can imagine that having something like this would make that so much more streamlined. Out of interest then, so maybe give Crumbles a little bit of a break for a minute, but Exitus, out of interest, what kind of services would you like to, or do you think could be good for Bison Relay?
I really, that's a good question. I wish you'd asked that earlier so I could think. But
All right. Well,
I
I'll
don't.
give you
What
time to
would
think.
you like to see?
Well, I've got a few things I've been thinking about here. And the first obvious, and this is where this Bison Bot toolkit has come from, is all about building in games into Bison Relay. And obviously last month we tried to demo the Pong game, and we're not quite there yet. We're just waiting for the next release of Bison Relay so we can get the RPC upgrade. But that's the first thing for me. So having one-to-one games, multiplayer games like Pong and Poker is going to be absolutely amazing. And I love the AI features. And honestly, before Crumble put this up, I think it was even last week. That's how recent this is. I hadn't even thought about getting AI into Bison Relay. But another thing that I quite like is like a procedural task manager. So say for instance, you want Bison Relay to remind you of a calendar date, or you want to trigger an event. So say for instance, it's your mum's birthday, or you've got a really important meeting coming up. Actually being able to have this idea of a virtual assistant. I mean, I'm just playing with ideas, but I thought that could be quite cool actually, where you say, oh, on the a year from today, I need you to remind me of this. I thought that could be quite good. Another one that I've been toying with is I'm I'm getting really annoyed with social media. I can't find the things that I want, or I'm not getting the greatest information that I want. So another thing that I thought about, and which I've used in the past, is like an RSS feed, or so you can say, right, I really enjoy following this person, or I really enjoyed this website. Every time they post a new blog post, just notify me in the chat so I can go and read it. So I don't always have to search for this stuff. And those are the two things that I've been thinking about so far. Did that give you enough time, Access, to think of one?
Yeah. The one thing I've wanted is most messaging apps have a private notes feature now, and I think that would go really well in Bison Relay, where you could just send images or text to yourself, and obviously Bison Relay is very private and secure, and maybe have some sort of Google Docs in there where you could have some sort of workflow right from within Bison Relay. But certainly, I don't see why we don't have a private notes feature where you're just sending messages to yourself.
Yeah, private notes would be absolutely amazing. And I even think about like editable posts as well, because I don't know about you guys, and Crumbles is probably the same as this. Crumbles built a whole bunch of websites, but when I build a post, I kind of add to it before I want to post, and it'd be quite nice to have an edit feature, so you can actually just kind of say, oh, save draft until I'm ready later. That'd be quite cool. In terms of microservices, then, Crumbles, do you have any other ideas you think that might be quite cool for someone to build?
Yeah, actually, yes. It's funny because you mentioned the RSS feed, and I today just saw again our discussions with Naomi Brockwell. You saw that on Twitter, where you just commented she should join the Bison Relay and put her articles on Bison Relay. So actually writing a bot that's just monitoring your RSS feed from your regular blog website and just automatically post it into your Bison Relay feed is quite straightforward, right? So there's no reason people can't or don't have the time to mirror their publishings onto Bison Relay. So actually, that's quite a useful bot in my opinion, right? So it's funny that you mentioned the RSS aggregation, and it should automatically mirror post for you on Bison Relay into your account, right? Because you get paid when you post on Bison Relay. Actually, you get paid automatically. You earn. So why not just run a bot for it and automatically get some funds on Lightning Network, right?
Yeah, I must admit, I would love that, to have to be able to join up some of the accounts, just so you can literally post once, or even start the post from Bison Relay and then it aggregates outwards, which would be quite cool as well. But no, I like all those ideas. Another one that I was thinking about, and I've just written some notes down here, but is this idea of well, say for instance, and a lot of traders in the crypto space, and it's kind of aimed towards those guys. But you imagine you're in Bison Relay and you've got TradeBot open, and you get alerted that, hey, Bitcoin's just gone down, 5%. Would you like to trigger a trade or something like that, and let the AI assistant kind of do these things based on parameters that you already kind of defined in that. I mean, it's probably a lot, probably far-fetched. You'd probably need to kind of connect to Coinbase or Binance to make those things happen. But it could be quite nice that you're getting these notifications, and then the actual bot is able to kind of say, hey, I'll place that trade now, whatever. But I mean, that was one of my things I thought the traders might like, actually having these notifications as some big piece of news happens. So Donald Trump's just put his 150% tariff on China. It might be a good idea to buy or sell this stock or something like that, So you've got these things happening straight away. Things, and I said about the gift cards, I thought gift cards and prepaid cards would be absolutely amazing on Bison Relay. And I hope the guy that mentioned that, I think it was Decred21, I think the user was, and I hope he's kind of built that or wants to still build that one. That might be quite cool. Or somebody else might want to take the lead on that. And then stores and marketplaces. Yeah, no, it's all pretty. Yeah, I mean, I have only just started thinking about these microservices, and I love the game option. I love what Victor is doing with the games, and I can't wait to get Pong tournament going. If I'm honest, I'm just a fun tournament. And I mean, I'm not a poker player by any means, so I'm not too worried about that. But it'd be interesting to see how people find that. Oh, it looks like Crumbles. Are you doing another demo? Let's get that.
I'm just going ahead listening, but I did another Bison Relay top to bottom E to E graffiti. Yes, I did.
Oh, that's cool. I've seen a few of your posts on that. Actually, that's really cool. I like that. Any other thoughts on that, Exitus?
No, I mean, there was some discussion around AI agents, and I think there's a distinction between what an AI agent is and what a bot is. An AI agent actually has logic and machine learning, and it's really kind of interesting. There's the one community member named Aaron who has this idea to maybe position Decred to align with AI agents. And at first, I was really confused how that would work. What does that look like in reality? And I spoke with ChatGPT about it, and ChatGPT loved the idea and said Decred was perfect for it because it has so many decentralized systems without human input. And basically, you could assign an AI agent to a watch-only wallet, and it could help you vote. It could help tell you when to stake, or you could give an AI agent its own wallet and its own Decred, and it could stake and make decisions on its own. So it's a really interesting concept. I don't know how it's going to play out in reality if people want to like actually fund that, but I think it's a fascinating idea for Decred to kind of enter the with AI agents. Maybe it could generate hype, it could generate marketing. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but at first I was confused by it, but now I'm kind of like, wow, that's a really cool idea to have AI kind of integrated with Decred.
Yeah. I mean, that would be sorry.
AI agents currently are a big topic, right? But you need to have the foundations and lay the railway for it. So Bison Relay is actually, with the Lightning Network, is actually pretty well positioned to have a foundation to actually make full autonomous AI agents possible. And everyone could plug in their own service and provide a specific model and an expert model, right? And some AI agent is just coordinating work and accessing all these different expert models that the people offer to it. So Bison Relay, and especially the communication protocol that can be built on top of it right now, is pretty well positioned to do something like that, actually. Yeah, so I was also very inspired, and my head started spinning around that topic, and I am looking forward for the future, right?
Yeah, I liked the idea of, and I've been thinking about this a little bit, is actually having an AI agent where you could allocate it funds. You say, well, this is your Decred wallet, but also let's connect you to Bison wallet so you have access to USDC and things like that. So you say, oh, my wife's birthday's coming up. Make sure she gets some flowers, and once stable coins are fully accepted by merchants, there'll be no reason why they couldn't take that route out and things. I thought that was quite interesting. But yeah, no, it's fascinating stuff. Guys in the chat, so we're 279 people watching this show. Absolutely amazing stuff. Loving where this is headed. If you've got anything you want to ask Crumbles, if you've got anything you want to say, if you even give some feedback on what you've just seen from that demo, because it was really nice of Crumbles to come in and actually give a full-blown demo and show you how all the different models work. And I even with my recent video, I hadn't realized that I could go a couple of levels deeper in the help as well. It's absolutely amazing stuff. While we wait for those comments, we've also got a whole bunch of news. So the Cake Wallet 2025 proposal has just passed. So it looks like we're going to be on BTC Pay server, and we're also going to be further integrated into the Cake Wallet, which should be very, very good. What are your thoughts on that, Exitus? You're looking forward to the BTC Pay server?
Yeah, I was the one who was like, this has to be in the proposal because a big part of the Cake Wallet integration is you can use Cake Pay, which is their service to buy all these different gift cards, and to use that you have to be on BTC Pay server, which is a payment processor. And I really think we should have been on there like years ago, but I think they just did an infrastructure rework, so I guess it's better to do it now after the rework. And there were some concerns about, what if they don't merge the code? But I think with us being on Cake Wallet, the Cake team can help us get merged or bypass, what would be otherwise some roadblocks. And they got us on Alchemy Pay, for instance, which is another bit of news. Alchemy Pay, you can go in and just use your debit card to just buy Decred, or you can use Google Pay or Apple Pay. There is like maybe a 5% fee. I did it. There is KYC to it. You have to upload a picture of a document, then you have to upload a picture from your webcam, but it verifies you almost instantly. So I'm sure they're using some sort of AI to verify people. And I understand there's going to be people in Decred who don't want to do that. But hey, if you want to just buy Decred really fast with a debit card, it's the perfect solution, because after I paid, it sent the Decred within like a minute right to my wallet. So it's a really good solution. It has not made its way to Cake Wallet itself yet for some reason, which I'm a bit confused by, but hopefully it'll be in Cake Wallet soon enough. And once it's there, it'll make things a little bit easier, because Cake Wallet automatically loads in your Decred address for when you go to buy Decred. You can't sell Decred there just yet. They only do that for a few different coins, but you can buy it, which is awesome.
And we must put a big thank you out to Cake Pay, because they actually pushed Alchemy Pay forward, and obviously saved us a whole bunch of money, which was absolutely amazing on their part. And now Decred is available to US customers via debit card. Is that correct, Exitus?
Yeah, it's correct.
And that is something we've been waiting for a long time. So that's absolutely great. Any thoughts on those two items, Crumbles? What are your feelings on Cake Wallet and Alchemy Pay?
The work being done on Cake Wallet is awesome. I like it. It's a beautiful wallet. I'm impressed that the implementation went so smooth. I mean, when we look back, there's other cases. So I'm very happy to see it on Cake Wallet. I think the company itself is run with good people with the right mindset and right mentality. So I be using Cake Wallet since then, actually on a daily basis, because I move funds for the stuff I'm doing. So I'm happy with Cake Wallet, and it's awesome work. I'm impressed. When it comes to integrational work with, or like say, bridges to the fiat world, it's always good to have Decred available, because a lot of people have problems to actually access it. I'm in a position where it's quite easy to buy crypto with cash. These cryptocurrency ATMs, they are quite popular and they work, and it's easy to use them, and
Are there any ATMs you recommend, like a specific brand?
I like Lamassos. The other one is General Bytes. That's also quite big. I would like to see Decred getting added to them, because when you are in a good relation with these people who run the ATMs, maybe, you know, it's possible to get Decred added on these ATMs, right? So it's always good to have these options. I don't know how it looks on the map, actually, on the world map, how well crypto ATMs are distributed. But in Europe, they are quite accessible for people. Some countries don't allow withdrawals. Some countries do. Some countries have higher requirements when you want to use them. Some have lowers. So this will also be the case worldwide. But people need all different ways to actually interface with the fiat and the cryptocurrency world. So I would be happy to see ATMs. Cake Wallet, for me, is a daily usage tool, but not a tool for onboarding. But I'm quite aware that it is very important, and a lot of people use it this way. It's just individually me. This would be another way for me to actually do this kind of things, but I already got my own ways. So Cake is actually a little bit too late for me to just put it into my workflow, right?
Yeah, I mean, it same as that really. I think when you think of Cake quality, you think daily usage, but it'll be really nice once we get to that point where shops are allowing you to use crypto or even stable coins, where you can just open up your Cake wallet and use it. It's going to be a massive bonus to be on that. I am interested in the ATMs, and it might be interesting if we can find a reputable company. It might be interesting to see if there are any possibilities of getting listed on ATMs. What are your thoughts on ATMs, Exitus?
I think it's a fascinating use case to show up with to be able to sell your crypto and get direct cash. I think is an amazing off ramp, right? Because it's completely private, I believe. Unless I know there's some of these crypto ATMs where you actually have to KYC yourself and you have to show a picture. And I believe there's others that don't. I had a friend, he was in Thailand and he lost his wallet. And in order to survive, in order to get cash, he had to sell his Bitcoin at a Bitcoin ATM to get cash. And so that allowed him to survive. And it was during COVID, so he had trouble getting a new card shipped. So that story always kind of stuck with me on the use case of these ATMs. But no, I think they're great. And obviously, with Decred, there's sometimes these onboarding issues with people having trouble buying the currency. And if you can just show up at an ATM with some cash and get the currency directly, I think that's brilliant. So I would like to see that explored if that's a reasonable thing, if that would be a reasonable proposal to get on these ATMs. I would be all for it completely. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's important to be where people want to use it, and that was one of the things that we identified with mobile wallets, is not being available on a popular mobile wallet was really hindering the process, I think. So to actually go from no mobile crypto wallet, to having one of the most popular ones was absolutely huge. And I would imagine it's going to be the same when BTC Pay Server comes through. Being available to the majority of merchants that accept crypto. I believe that they are using BTC Pay Server. So you're going to be where the audience is, which is going to be incredible. And I'm not used ATMs before, but I'd imagine certainly for some people, including Crumbles, this is an absolute must-have. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that works out, if we can make that happen as well. Some food for thought there. there was an interesting post this week, or maybe it was last week. I'm not sure actually. It might even be a bit older than that. But if you haven't seen it, it's over on Reddit. Someone asked, "How does Bison Relay make money?" And I found this fascinating. And I've listened to a few conversations on live streams and Twitter Spaces where people have been saying, you know what? Why are people so afraid to make money in crypto? You know, why aren't the profit seekers out there? Why are we so against all these rent seekers and things like that? And for my money, I'm wholly against rent seekers, but I'm not against people that are putting services forward. I mean, like for instance, Crumble's AI bot, that is a service within that. So there are fees to pay, but he's offering that service. Where I kind of get a bit begrudged is if it kind of goes, you know, you have to make money, you have to pay your VCs, you have to pay your finances, you have to pay your debt. And this is something where Bison Relay is really interesting because as you all know, Bison Relay doesn't make money. It was put together for free because there was a need for private communications. There's actually a need to actually be able to communicate with people where you're not being spied on. And you know, you can have these conversations without censorship. I know Exitus has read that, but what did you make of Dave's comment on that one?
I'll have to reread it, what his comment was. I believe I responded to that, and I was basically like, yeah, it doesn't make money. It was privately funded, so it's not using treasury funds. And I forget what was the other question. And the privacy you can read on the website. It does a pretty good job explaining, you know, all the chat is encrypted and, you know, it's metadata minimized. But if you could remind us, what did Dave say?
Well, he was basically saying out of everything that's available, and the guy was also talking about XML chat. Is it better than XML chat? And Dave basically said, you know, it's currently the best private chat out there. You know, and a lot of people, when they go onto Bison Relay, they don't particularly like it because it doesn't have anything there. It's completely empty, and they're not used to that. You know, when you go onto Twitter or Telegram, it kind of suggests who you should connect with, and all these kind of things kind of filter into it. Whereas with Bison Relay, it's completely private, so you have to kind of join groups. You kind of make your way through it and build up your audience as you go. Much in the same way that the early internet was, and I quite like that. In terms of, yeah, so basically one of the most private communication chats out there was what he was saying. And the reason it hasn't been funded is purely because, you know, it's for everyone. It's open source. It was a great comment, but if you haven't read it, it's over on Reddit, and here's my post for it here, and you can just click on it and have a little look. It's a great read actually for anyone that's interested.
Should probably copy and paste this on Twitter somewhere. But I mean, the onboarding is certainly the. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's a great comment, and when someone like Dave says it's the best you can get, then you better trust him, because it is right. He's really confident, explaining why there's no comparison with other chat networks when it comes to privacy compared to Bison Relay, and he does it in a pretty confident way. So I was really impressed to see that post. And when Dave says something, you know he's right? So
yeah, we haven't had Dave on for a little while, so maybe we should look at getting back on. But it was a brilliant comment, and it really kind of solidifies why we use Bison Relay and why it's so important that this is moving forward. Absolutely amazing post. There was another thing, a bit of news. This not news really. It's a campaign. I think it might have even been started by Jay-Z, but it's the WTF is, and I'll try not to be rude. So it's what the F is Decred campaign, and it was this idea that for years and years and years, people that know what Decred is have been talking about Decred's fundamentals without ever mentioning Decred. So now with the what the F is Decred campaign, it allows us to kind of insert ourselves into these narratives. When people start talking about great governance and this project should have great governance, or they should have stakeholders and coin holder governance, you know, people like Vitalik that basically kind of spout on about these great values without ever mentioning Decred, you can insert yourself in there. And it's quite a nice little insert. I thought that was quite a cool little campaign. You're muted, Exitus. How you doing? You back on? No. Well, whilst Exitus sorts his sound out, what did you think about that campaign? Have you seen any of those inserted?
It's awesome, right? It's hitting the nail on the head. It's perfect, actually, right? Because these people, we know their way. It's been 9 years.
Testing.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. No, I was just going to say WTF is Decred came from the Cake Wallet release. Cake Wallet released Decred, and people were like, "What WTF is Decred?" And so that's kind of how that meme started. It's quite comical.
Sorry, Crumbles. What was you finish up your sentence, man?
No, it's yeah, like I say, it's awesome. It's right on point, right?
Yeah, I think so, and it is nice to be able to kind of go into a conversation where people are talking about these values, and you can just say, Decred exists. Come on, stop playing, and it kind of allows us to kind of say, look, we're 9 years old. The governance system in Decred has worked flawlessly for that whole time. Coin holder governance with a maximum supply of 21 million is the absolute must for any project. And I mean, the values speak for itself, really, and I love it. I've got one more piece of news. Let me see if I can bring it up. And if you guys, before we've gone over the hour mark now, we've got over 300 people watching. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you've got any questions or comments for Crumbles, please ask, because it's great to have him here so he can answer those for you. But before we do that, if you've got them, post them in the comments. But my final piece of news, if I can bring it up, here we go, is Bison Explorer has just added a whole bunch of market metrics, and I quite like the Bison Explorer. It's basically a fork of DCR data, but because it's not relying on moderators to kind of update the code, it's getting some really nice features. What do you guys think of this new Explorer?
I think they're running circles around DCR data with features. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, a lot of the things I've wanted to see in DCR data have been added there. Specifically, they fixed the hash rate chart. They fixed the exchange page, which is really cool to see. But yeah, I wish these things would just be ported to DCR data, and it's kind of shocking that all these features are being added there by a guy who's not even being paid, versus DCR data, which is kind of lagging behind a bit. And like you said, there's for DCR data, there's a bunch of permissions the developers have to pass through to get things merged with whereas Bison Explorer, the guy just merges them instantly. But that's definitely something to look into. Why is development moving so fast there, and on DCR data it's kind of lagging.
Have you got any thoughts, Crumbles, on the new Explorer?
It's impressive. There's progress. It's always nice to see progress. Currently, I don't know if anybody is really feeling like they need to work on DCR data. I don't think there's somebody, lead developer, who would be able to merge all this stuff. So there needs somebody who's actually willing to make the reviews and merge. I would, of course, I hope somebody is willing to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe we need to shuffle things around on that respect, because I believe it was Chap JC who was leading that initiative. So maybe it needs a little bit of a shuffle around just to make sure that it is still on track, to make sure that it's still one of the best explorers out there. And I've always loved DCR data. The amount of information that it gives you is absolutely incredible. And seeing that progress and seeing that going forward, I think is It is really important, actually. People love that stuff. That is pretty much it for me. It doesn't look like we've got any more comments. Crumbles, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for showing us what you've been working on. It's been an absolute pleasure, to meet you after all these years. I mean, we've been conversing for at least 5 years, if not a bit longer. But and it's lovely. It's lovely to finally kind of put a face to a name, and it's great that after all these years you're still committed to the mission and you're loving working on this stuff. So yeah, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure. Before I let Crumbles sign us off, any final thoughts from you, Exitus?
Yeah, shout out to Caramble for demonstrating the Bison bot kit, and he's also working on the MEXC arbitrage, which is already live on Bison Wallet. So for USDT with MEXC, which is really huge, which is something I think we've needed. So yeah, thanks a lot, Caramble.
Yeah, it's amazing. I had quite a run the last weeks. MEXC is a little bit more complicated, so I just running the bot for tests actually. So I'm not done with that. It's there's some pretty much work left until I can open a pull request on that one. But I think I will get to it. I'm working on it. It looks good. It does its job right now, but I really need more time to finish that. Once that's done, I will go back to the AI bot and continue with that. Thanks for having me, guys. You're awesome. I think what you do is very important. I like what you're putting out there on a regular basis. I have huge respect for that you're stepping up the game when it comes to publishing stuff. So huge thanks to that. Also on your work when it comes to relations with Cake Wallet and all the other providers that you do. Thanks a lot for that also.
Thank you.
I want you guys to check out my proposal. It's not big. It's not a huge step, but it helps. And check it out and just vote, please, guys, vote.
Yeah, absolutely. Get over to proposals.decred.org, put your comments in, and then hopefully at some point this week it will go live and get that through. Like I say, it's not a big one, but the work is definitely necessary. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure. Looking forward to the next one. Everyone in the audience, thank you for showing up. I think this might be one of our biggest shows yet. 308 people viewed in today. So that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, guys. Exitus, Crumbles, pleasure. Everyone else, see you next time. Thank you.